Korea.
What part of Korea? Oh, you're going to do Busan.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice. Busan. Everyone, I want to
Good
go to Busan 'cause
evening,
everybody
everyone.
says
It
that
is
that's-
November
It's
14th,
not-
2023. It is 7 p.m. Welcome to the San Marino Unified School District Board of Education meeting. Here is your board president, Shelley Ryan.
Thank you, Dr. Choi, and I'd like to call the regular meeting in session at 7:01. I'd like to do a roll call. Mrs. Lam?
Here.
Mrs. Gill? Mrs. Chong?
Here.
Mr. Chang?
Here.
Mrs. Ryan, aye. And the student board member, Ms. Choi, will be joining us a few minutes later, and Mrs. Gill will be joining us. There she is. Mrs. Gill, I just did roll call.
Here.
Thank you. Dr. Richter, would you please introduce our student who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Thank you, President Ryan. It would be my pleasure. Tonight, we have the honor to invite up our very own Carver pioneer, Riley Egan, who is also not only a fifth grade pioneer at Carver Elementary, but the Fall Student Council president. So Riley, if you would join us at the podium and
Good evening, Superintendent De La Torre, distinguished board members, and all those in attendance. My name is Riley Egan, and I am a fifth grade pioneer at Carver Elementary. I'd like to thank you for taking this time to allow me to update you on what's happening at Carver. It's such a privilege for me to stand up here and represent my fellow pioneers and share what Carver means to me. First, you may ask, what are the latest and greatest events happening at Carver? In October, 4th and 5th graders participated in the democratic process, in which our fall student council elections took place. Students were nominated, and 4th and 5th graders got to make campaign speeches and posters. Personally, it was a wonderful honor that I was elected the fall student council president. Well, recently, the school had its very exciting annual Halloween parade. This parade is a very big deal. It's where all students, from tiny TK all the way to 5th graders, get to showcase their creative and unique costumes. This evening, Principal Caldwell was at Carver, reading to kids at the Family Night Book Fair. Coming in December, students from TK to 2nd grade will participate in our annual winter holiday program. If you all have the opportunity, I'm sure that the young pioneers will love to see as many faces in the audience as possible. Finally, I'm thrilled to announce that field trips are now fully back. Our teachers have planned some wonderful educational experiences for us. One of the field trips that upper grades participated in just last month was to see the play The Wizard of Oz at the San Gabriel Mission Playhouse. A few other upcoming trips will include San Juan Capistrano Mission, Ronald Reagan Library, and even Griffith Observatory. We're so fortunate. Lastly, I would like to give my personal thoughts about my time at Carver. I will always cherish my memories of this school, of learning to read and write in kindergarten, of 1st grade being interrupted by COVID-19, of learning to live part of my life on the computer in 2nd grade, of readjusting back into a normal life in 3rd grade, of having a great time in a fully functional 4th grade, and for learning a lot about leadership in 5th grade. As a 2nd-generation pioneer and the last member in my extended family to graduate from Carver, it will always have a special place in my heart, just as it will with all other Carver alumni and current students. In my 6 years at Carver, I have learned to be a friend, to be honest, independent, responsible, and self-confident. Most importantly, I am now learning how to be a good leader and to serve my community. Now today, as I welcome you to the award-winning San Marino Unified School District Board meeting, I would like to pay respect to our country and our flag. Please join us as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand quietly and respectfully. Face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Riley, wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Riley, you are an outstanding public speaker, and we are so proud of you. I really enjoyed listening to all the wonderful things that you have learned at Carver Elementary School. And we're going to present you with a certificate, and we're going to take a photograph right over here with the board certificate. And I'd like to get your parents and your principal in the picture as well.
Gobble, gobble.
I think you trotted into that.
Oh,
Jane. Sorry, Joseph.
Now look here. 1, 2.
What is that? All right, thank you so much. Great job, Riley. Yes, awesome.
That's what I was, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm leaving a day earlier.
Thank you for coming.
No, I just have something else I need to take care of, so I can go stay.
I'm sure you're roasting in there.
Oh, Jane.
I could go on all night.
Yeah.
You're so funny. You're so funny.
Dad humor.
All right, next, may I have approval of the agenda?
Approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Chan. Thank you, Mr. Chang. Roll call, Mrs. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mrs. Chan,
Aye.
Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan. So the agenda has been approved. I need an approval for the minutes for October 24th, 2023, the Board of Education meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes from October 24th.
Thank you, Mrs. Chan.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Roll call, Mrs. Lamb,
Aye.
Mrs. Gill,
Aye.
Mrs. Chan,
Aye.
Mr. Chang,
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan, aye. And the motion has passed to approve the minutes for October 24th. San Marino Unified School District Spotlight. Then I bet I know who's getting spotlighted. We have one person in our audience. I would like to turn it over to Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, who will do our proclamation for the San Marino Fire Department's 100th anniversary.
Thank you, President Ryan, members of the Board of Education, executive team, student board member who's not here. It is with great honor and immense pride that we have the opportunity this evening to celebrate a century of unwavering service, valor, and dedication by the San Marino Fire Department. For a little over 100 years, these brave individuals have been the guardians of our community, selflessly putting their lives on the line to serve and care for the people of San Marino. Throughout history, the San Marino Fire Department has been a beacon of hope and safety in times of crisis. From battling fires, rescuing those in distress, transporting our students to the emergency room with broken bones, bumps on the head, allergy and asthma attacks, to literally saving one of our teachers' lives when he went into cardiac arrest on stage at San Marino High School. Their commitment to duty has been nothing short of remarkable. They have embodied the true essence of heroism, often facing danger with courage, resilience, and unwavering determination. As we honor Chief Rueda and the 100th anniversary of the San Marino Fire Department, let us also recognize the families who have supported these dedicated firefighters through thick and thin. Behind every brave individual in uniform, there is a network of loved ones whose strength and sacrifices often go unnoticed. This milestone is not just about the past century's achievements, but also a promise for the future. The San Marino Fire Department continues to evolve, embracing cutting-edge technology, contemporary training, and expertise to better protect our community in the face of new challenges. To Chief Rueda and all the firefighters, past and present, thank you for your selfless dedication, courage, your unwavering commitment to keeping our schools and community safe. Your bravery and sacrifice do not go unnoticed. And today we salute and honor each and every one of you. Here's a certificate to honor your 100-year anniversary. The San Diego Fire Department. Yeah. Oh, please.
Just real quick. I know you guys go late. But one of the things that I did learn in examining the history, the 100 years, was not only all the nice things that you said, Linda, but in 1923, the elected body of the city of San Marino took tremendous courage to actually invest in a fire department, because we were not paying for a fire department. We were borrowing services on an as-needed basis from Alhambra. So an elected body, much like yourselves, put themselves out, extended their courage to actually fund a fire department, which today we have a full-service city. And I think it really is one of the things, along with this school district, that makes our city special. So thank you for the accolades, and I really do appreciate everything you do. Thank you.
And so we're going to present you with this wonderful proclamation and take a photograph with the entire board, if that's okay. I know. We have that.
Nobody shows up.
That's right.
Right in the center here, on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congratulations.
They saved my house from burning because I knew right? I live next door to the house on Russian.
Oh,
yeah. When did this happen? A year ago. I was laughing over. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. It was a big one.
Bummers.
Yeah. Outside.
Oh yeah. I'll be later. Happy anniversary.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Oh yeah, when is I think they had it last weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Chang, for
Bringing up the idea.
All right, public comment. The Board of Education has adopted Board Policy 9323B to ensure the public's right to be heard in any matters pertaining to the San Marino Unified School District. Persons who wish to provide public comment will have 3 options to submit public comments. First, you could have submitted through an online form, and as of 3:30 today, there were no submissions. Requests to speak during the meeting via Zoom. Dr.
Hey, thank you, President Ryan. We'll go ahead and pause for 1 minute. Take any requests to speak regarding matters that are not on the agenda, or matters that are in the information items, the consent sections, as well as the action items. Go ahead and please press the raise hand icon if you'd like to make a request to speak. You can also dial *9 if you're joining by phone, or submit a public comment card.
May I ask how many are on Zoom?
We have 3 attendees. Okay, 30 seconds remain. If you'd like to make a request, please press the raise hand icon, dial *9, or submit the public comment card. Okay, we have no requests, President Ryan.
Thank you, Dr. Choi. And so as there are no one sitting in the public, there shouldn't be any public comment cards, correct? All right. Under the consent section, do I have a motion to approve the consent section 9A through 9H?
I move to approve consent section from 9A to 9H.
Second.
I didn't hear who's second.
They both.
Okay.
Mrs. Lamb can
Okay.
second.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. Thank you, Mrs. Lamb. And consent section 9A to 9H. Roll call, Mrs. Lamb.
I had one question first.
Okay, go ahead.
I just had one question regarding, hold that up. For the purchase order log report number 7, there are 3 POs for 4 music festivals in the amount of $34,000, $22,000, and $20,000. I'm wondering, what are the source of the funds to pay those?
The sources come from the families of the students, middle school students. They donate towards those field trips. And the field trips have been happening for 15 years. This is middle school VAPA. They go to Disney. And yeah, so it's the parents who pay.
Okay, thank you.
And if there are students who cannot afford it, do we provide for them?
We do.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lamb, for clarification. So with that roll call, Mrs. Lamb?
Aye.
Mrs. Gill?
Aye.
Mrs. Chan?
Aye.
Mr. Chang?
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan? And student board member, Ms. Choi?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Next, under communication section, communication from the Board of Education. We ask that each board member take no more than 2 to 3 minutes to share their communications and reports. Let's begin with Mrs. Lamb.
Thank you. On Halloween, I attended the Carver Halloween Parade. So it was really nice seeing all of the different kiddos dressed up what they aspire to be and what their favorite characters were. On November 5th, I attended the San Marino Chinese Club Mid-Autumn Festival Gala. It was a very nicely organized and prepared event, and also a great showcase of how dance can really unite everyone across the community and come together for such a great cause. And last but not least, I attended the PTA reflection. So what we have on the wall, all the artwork that had been submitted by the various students at all 4 schools. It was really great to see parents and children come. Their art was all showcased around the room and on bulletin boards, and we were able to present awards to those that won, and it was such a joyous occasion and really glad to have been a part of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Gill?
On 10/25, I attended the PFA talk at the new San Marino Community Center about the dangers of fentanyl. The big takeaway to tell all your teenagers, there are no real prescription drugs online. So just do not order them off of Snapchat. And anyway, the new drugtalk.org will have all the information. 10/27, I attended the second to last football game. Unfortunately, we lost that and then the CIF opener, but I'm just so proud of how the team has done this year, and they have really made such strides. 10/29, I went to the high school parent party. 10/31, I went to the Valentine Halloween parade along with Mr. Chang to represent the board, and it was just, it's always so darling seeing TK through 5th parading around in all their various costumes and seeing the creativity and humor that they have. And on the 2nd of November, I went to the high school showcase, which I thought was put on very well by our new principal, Dr. Wolf, and it seemed like we had just a great showing. So kudos to him. Veterans Day and support Carver and Valentine book fairs. And also tomorrow, Mrs. Lamb and I, we're looking forward to the district-wide safety meeting, which will report out our board goal-directed safety initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Next, we have Ms. Chow.
Thank you. So a couple of other items as well. The coffee with Dr. Wolf at the high school, and the VAPA mixer for parents who volunteer with the boosters are a couple meetings I attended, and was able to just remind the parents and families to reach out to the district with any feedback they might have regarding the facilities master plan that the FAC is working on. So that was a nice opportunity to hit a couple different groups of people who may not have been able to come to the town hall. Also attended the showcase night at the high school, which is just a really great example of students doing a lot of work to promote their own activities and their own school. And I think that really does a lot to connect across our district with other families who are considering looking at other schools and wanting to know what we have in their own backyard. Also attended the Midsummer Night's Dream play at the high school, which was honestly just an absolute riot. My daughter was mortified that I was laughing so loud because it was just hilarious. What was really nice was you could tell they really understood what they were saying, and they weren't just reciting Shakespeare. They had the inflections and intonations, and it sounded natural to them, which I thought was such an accomplishment on Mr. Hernandez's part. And he told me they spent a couple extra weeks working on that. And really having a chance to understand Shakespeare. And then honestly, even from the facility standpoint too, being in that room and seeing, again, another perspective of what our facilities look like and how they might enhance our students' abilities to really grow in their confidence and build on another skill that Mr. Hernandez was saying, what employers are looking for nowadays isn't just always checking off boxes, but sometimes the ability to pivot and the ability to present and think on your feet. And what better place do you learn that than in the arts, to be able to put yourself out there on the stage and then to really be able to pivot on stage when something doesn't go right. And how do you do that? And so that was a really interesting way of thinking about what our arts do for our students beyond the typical things we think about. So that was a great opportunity. And I'll leave the rest of it to, I know the rest of us went to a lot of the same things.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Chang.
Okay, October 28th, I attend the San Marino High School parent party. And then I also attend the Valentine on the Halloween parade, and then the 11th, I attend the San Marino Fire Department 100 anniversary. That give me some comment. I feel the day the second generation and the third generation look like it come out and then became the majority. So that's good. I think everyone take fire department as the central. I think that's very good for traditional value for this small town. And then San Marino High School have an art fair hosted by San Marino Rotary, and the night have a Chinese Cup, San Marino Mid-Autumn Festival party, and then 11/7, I on behalf of Board President Sherry Ryan attend the San Marino PTA Council meeting. And then 11, the same night, the PTA reflection hosted by San Marino PTA Council. I also have some comment. This year look like have a big crowd, so this ballroom cannot occupy the audience. Yeah, so maybe the next year we can find the bigger space. Yeah, for them to celebrate for the student achievement. Yeah. because I'm kind of worried about maybe it's the safety issue. They're too crowded, maybe it could cause some public health concern. Finally, yesterday, the Chinatown Service Center have a groundbreaking in our neighborhood, in the Alhambra Main Street. This is also my project I initiate for our CSC. So it's a 43,000 square feet. It's a regional community health center. They including the medical, dental, mental health. And so I think in the future, I think should benefit to our community, and also students should have some volunteer opportunity. So we're open, I think, next summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chang. And I want to take this opportunity to really kind of reflect and thank you for all the services that you have brought to San Marino. Chinatown Services does a great job in terms of supporting our students in mental health, and you're able to make those relationships for us. So thank you. Along with my fellow board members, I attended the Monrovia football game and then the first round of the CIF playoffs. Attended the FAC town hall meeting. Thank you. I think Dr. Lin, you helped us put that together. So thank you for that. I would have wished for a better turnout, but everyone's really busy in the evening, so it's hard, and we may have to look for another time to offer that opportunity again. San Marino High School's parent party was a lot of fun, along with the San Marino High School showcase. I also attended last weekend. I was a judge for speech and debate tournament and attended the Mid-Autumn Festival hosted by the Chinese Club. The PTA Reflections Contest, Mr. Chang, just reflected, the large groups that were amassed here. It just reflected the growing support for the arts. And I agree with what Mrs. Chong said, that the arts give our students another opportunity to showcase their talents and their passions. And then I serve on the APISMA board, the Asian Pacific Islanders School Board Members Board, and we are going to be hosting a workshop at CSBA. So I hope all of my fellow board members will be able to attend. And that's my report. And next up, we have communication from our student board member, Megan Choi.
Thank you. Okay, so from our last meeting, we closed out October with our Red Ribbon Week, but following that, of course, the momentum never stops, with Carver and Valentine having their respective events this weekend last week with their book fair, and Valentine having Donuts at Dawn this week. Upcoming on the SMHS side, ASB is working hard because our hoop coming season and, of course, our winter assemblies are coming up to kind of close out the first semester. But what's coming up even sooner, in fact, this week, in fact, tomorrow and Thursday, is our SMHS dance department is having our first show of the year, Steal the Show, at 7 p.m. in the Nair. Super fun, so upbeat. We have a really large variety in our show this year. And of course, we have our HMS intramural dance team also kind of making an appearance in collaboration with Dance Company. Always super great for community engagement, but it's going to be really fun, and I hope to see you all.
Thank you so much. Next, Superintendent Dr. Linda Delatorre.
Thank you, President Ryan, members of the board, executive team, and student board member Choi. Last week, I attended a superintendent's leadership collaborative sponsored by the Center for Human Connection, wherein 80 superintendents from different states across the U.S. were present. I had the distinct pleasure of engaging in a workshop with Dr. Arthur Brooks, who co-wrote a book with Oprah Winfrey entitled Building the Life You Want, The Art and Science of Getting Happier. And you may wonder how this relates to public education schools, but it really does, because he focuses on brain science and metacognitive functioning and the importance of understanding and regulating your emotions and your emotionality, delaying gratification. He talked about the marshmallow experiment, which you're probably all familiar with, wherein they had, I think they were kindergartners, 5-year-olds. They put a marshmallow on a chair and said to the student, I'm going to go take a phone call, but if I come back and this marshmallow is still on the chair, you're going to get 2 marshmallows. How does that sound? And the kids were, oh yeah, that's great. And so they had the camera on the kid, and inevitably 20% of all the students that they did this with would eat the marshmallow before the professor would come back in to the room after taking the call. And so they followed the 20% of the students who could not wait and ate that marshmallow to see what their lives were like over time. And the kiddos that weren't able to delay gratification tended not to have an easy road ahead. They were very spontaneous, and they ended up getting into a lot of trouble, didn't do as well in school. Some of them ended up dropping out. It's really a fascinating study. So if you haven't heard of that before, you should definitely take time to look at that. And what it said to me was, we need to teach our children to delay gratification, right? Good things come to those who wait. That's something that we tell our kids, right? And our grandchildren. And it really is an important message. But if you haven't read this book, I do recommend reading it. I'm not through the whole thing, but I did start it, and it's really pretty fascinating. The other thing that they talked a lot about is the harm that is done through social comparison, which is happening on social media all the time, every day. And if you take the time to look at your children's screen time, it's quite excessive. And in some cases, if it's 7 hours or more, it's literally like 3 months out of the year that your kids are on social media. And as you know, that can be very damaging for an individual's self-esteem growing up. They talked about the fact that typically 85% of all teenagers are depressed. They don't feel that their lives are going to turn out okay. Now that's 85%. I'm not saying that's happening in San Marino at all. We're talking nationwide. These studies are done nationwide, because in San Marino, I'm sure all of our kids are just completely happy, right? You guys have already figured it out. But this is something that we need to pay attention to, I think, and that's why it's so important that this Board of Education has turned their attention to not just educating kids in relationship to the core academic subjects. This board has really paid attention to the importance of social emotional well-being. And I think that that's really important. And I thank this board for being so proactive with that, and really partnering with some community organizations to really make sure that our kids have access to the support that they need, and really do look into what social media can mean to a child's self-esteem. So, and not just to children, right? It happens to adults too. Social comparison is going on all the time, right? And it is a very dangerous downward spiral if you continue to focus on what somebody else has and what somebody else has accomplished, as opposed to where you are at in life and what makes you happy and what makes you feel fulfilled. There were also other presenters there, the psychologists talking about, student achievement and the impacts of executive functioning on lifetime success and that sort of thing. So I am going to be sharing that information in more detail with presentations to my team and the principals. We have a leadership meeting this Friday, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to share some of this information out. The other thing is that today, Dr. Richter and I had a unique opportunity. We were invited by our architectural firm, LPA, to visit and tour a state-of-the-art brand new preschool. And it was a wonderful opportunity. I'm going to show you some of the photographs that I shared with Dr. Choi that I thought would be important. And this is just the inside of the classroom. But the unique thing is that these children are spending 80% of their time outdoors. So it's typically flipped, right? Usually the kids are spending 80% of their time indoors, but not in this case. And the wall that you see to the left there is open, and it just leads right out to the outdoor space. And they're teaching them all about outdoors, and outdoor education is really important to these children. And they back up to a nature center, and it was actually a nature center before the nature center purchased this property, which was medical offices, in order to build this preschool. And it is a for-fee preschool. I'm not sure what the tuition is. They weren't able to tell me that. But you can see the hand washing stations. They're teaching the children to engage in proper hand washing. Behind that is a restroom that is located right in the classroom area. But there's glass on top so the adults can make sure that they're keeping an eye on the kids at all times, but it still gives the students privacy when they're using the restroom. And you can see how the restrooms don't have doors on the walls, and that's just so that the adults can make sure. They're teaching some of these children to be potty trained, and so they need to assist them. And that's some kind of a lizard on the rock there. I don't know, you can see he looks like maybe he's a chameleon because he's blending in with that rock. His name is Sir Ivan or something like that, right? Isaac. Okay, see, I need my glasses. Yeah. Sir Isaac. And so the children have the opportunity to see how, these lizards are living. And this is just the inside of the classroom. And if you want to keep going, I thought that was cute. Little monkey hanging upside down. But they have all these different corners and spaces in the classroom that are just so engaging for kids. And that's outdoors. And when Dr. Richter and I looked at some of the equipment that they have on the playground, what stood out to us is that does that look safe to anybody in this room? We were like, that looks like an injury waiting to happen, right? Because it's ropes that are all intertwined, and I can see how a kiddo might get caught in that or fall off of that. The other thing is that they use a lot of boulders for landscaping. And it's so interesting because they talked about the fact that some of these kids, the kids that are used to being outdoors, they can navigate those rocks really well. And the kids that aren't used to navigating the outdoors had some difficulty with it. And the gentleman who owns the nature center was saying he can tell the difference between the kids, like the ones that have been there a while and those that have just started the program. But they have a garden space there where they plant things and they watch them grow and they cultivate. That's just a little stand where they have all of their outdoor trucks. There were kids running around in this area. That's a slide, and there are wooden steps leading up to the slide. See all the boulders? That to me, I mean, I can see Dr. Lynn say, nope, take that out, take that out, take that out. And this is a private preschool, not a public preschool. And so they don't have to go through DSA. That's a teacher talking to Dr. Richter and kind of showing her the space that she's in. And they need more shade. They talked about that. The trees that they planted, because they're so young, they are not fully grown yet. They're bringing in artificial shade with those easy ups that you see there in the picture. But eventually that's going to go away, and those trees will be large enough and mature enough to be able to provide adequate shade for these kids. So you can see they have sand. That's just, they have little sand spots. They have a mud area that they fill with mud, and they allow the kids to get in there. And it's so interesting because they were saying that these kids go home and they're dirty from head to toe. There were kids barefoot out there playing in that, right? There was a little girl that had this cute t-shirt on it. It said, "Pick flowers, not fights." And I just thought, I'm going to buy that for our entire executive team and our board. We should all wear that t-shirt. Pick flowers, not fights. I thought that was really impactful. That's an outdoor hand washing station. They take naps under a shaded area, but it's outdoors. So most of what they're doing is fitting in with nature outside. See, there's more boulders. That's a video. Just kind of showing you, go ahead and play it. Just showing the surrounding area. And I think oh, it went to slow-mo or something, right? What happened? And this was all, this was $11 million, this project. And it was money that was raised by the Nature Center through private donations.
What's the
So
name of
those doors open up to the outdoor area.
It's in Newport.
Oh, Newport.
It's Newport Beach. Really, really just a lovely space for kids. And the children were so engaged, and just, you could tell they were loving every minute of learning there. It was really amazing. We weren't the only ones touring that space. There were a lot of school districts there. I don't know if they were principals or assistant superintendents, but there were a lot of people there. And with that, I just wanted to recognize also that you already know this, but it is Shelley Ryan's birthday, and she is working on her birthday as our board president. And so we have something special for her. Jennifer?
Oh, I thought you were going to make me rock climb on the apparatus.
Another turkey or?
She's coming. Mm-hmm. This might take a minute. She's
Happy
birthday to. We're gonna do it. Oh, yes. Here we go. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, President Ryan. Ryan, President. Happy birthday to you. And many more presidents.
Thank you.
I don't make a wish.
Yeah, I go like this. Okay. No, I shouldn't blow because of,
Cool. Okay, can you take a picture from your side? Yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get my hand in the way?
Can we present her a certificate, please?
Thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, I cut it and then everyone should have a piece. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. And with that, I am done, and I turn it back over to you.
Oh, so that was, you were stalling. I was like, wow, she's taking so long.
Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Very thoughtful.
Thank you for working on your birthday. We appreciate that.
Thank you. All right. So next, information items. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Choi, who will present the DOJ COP's grant award to the Board of Education.
Thank you, President Ryan. Good evening, members of the board, student board member Megan, and executive team. I'm excited to share another significant achievement for the San Marino Unified School District in the realm of school safety. Specifically, I will present on our district's recent School Violence Prevention Program Award. I'll start by providing context of what the SVPP program is about. Please keep in mind that in education, there tends to be a lot of edu-speak in the form of acronyms. Well, it's no different here in federal grants. The Federal Student, Teachers, and Officers Preventing, AKA STOP, with Federal is School Violence Act of 2018, empowered by the DOJ, or U.S. Department of Justice, COPS, short for Community Oriented Policing Services Office, gives the ability to directly award schools aimed at enhancing security through evidence-based safety programs and technology. The School Violence Prevention Program is a COPS grant that provides up to $73 million for the 2023 fiscal year. The duration of each award spans 3 years, with a maximum federal share of $500,000 per award. It is important to note that there is a local cash match requirement of at least 25%. The funding is geared towards supporting various school safety measures, including coordination with law enforcement, training for local officers, implementation of deterrent measures, technology for emergency notification, and any other security improvements deemed essential by the COPS office. In May 2023, the San Marino Unified School District submitted a grant application requesting funds to replace outdated security cameras to enhance situational awareness and foster increased collaboration between the school and local law enforcement. The estimated total cost for the project was $595,279. I am proud to share that the San Marino Unified did leverage school safety expertise from the FBI's Joint Regional Intelligence Center, JRIC, and garnered support from key partners such as San Marino Police Chief John Encontro and clinical and forensic psychologist, Dr. Tony Belize. Now, in the national context, the program is quite competitive. 1,022 applications were submitted across 50 states. Out of these, 206 applications were funded, with an average award amounting to $334,000. Notably, in California, only 16 school districts were selected to receive this award. I'm extremely pleased to announce that the San Marino Unified School District was selected with an award amount of $405,872.
Wow.
Yay.
Now, here's our timeline and our next steps. We submitted the application in May of this year and received the notice of award on November 2nd. The district has 45 days to accept this award. Once accepted, the district will need to register on various federal systems to manage the grant. The award provides the district access to the funds for up to 3 years. In those 3 years, the district will work to procure, implement, and draw down on those funds. In addition, the district is required to submit quarterly financial reports. Now, while the district has never managed SVPP funds, I am excited to research and work with the entire district team to achieve what is necessary to leverage funds from this award. So in conclusion, I do want to express my gratitude for the continued support from our district safety partners, including the San Marino Police Department, Dr. Belize and JRIC. This initiative underscores the importance of collaboration between our schools, law enforcement, and the community at large in creating a secure and conducive learning environment for our staff and students. That concludes my presentation, and I will take any questions or comments at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so with this funding, so how many percent we can implement, I mean replace for the old camera?
The application called for 130 cloud-based cameras. So we currently have about 130 cameras. These cameras are the newest, next generation, best in class in terms of providing enhanced safety with surveillance cameras. It's important to point out that while we have the same number of cameras, our current camera system is outdated in that it wasn't designed to be viewed in real time. It was a camera system that was designed to, let's roll back the video to, last week to see if something happened there, right? Today, newer cameras are designed so that you have access and visibility in real time. I'm very excited about that because the camera system is central to our safety.
Mm-hmm. If I recall, there was talk about some other technology about weapon recognition. Can this be integrated with that?
It can be integrated with that.
So that expands our ability to see more of what could be happening on campus.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then are there any additional, other than reporting requirements, which is typical, are there any other additional requirements or restrictions around these funds?
So there needs to be a little bit more research. I'm actually quite surprised at how seemingly lax the procurement guidelines are, especially when it's compared to other federal grants, such as the federal E-rate program. The federal E-rate program has very extensive competitive provisions, competitive bidding provisions. So I am doing additional research on that. Unfortunately, not many school districts have received this award, but I do intend to vet the entire process to ensure that we're in full compliance.
And these are cameras that really were in need of being updated and replaced. So I think one of the criticisms that always took place was that San Marino Unified didn't really go after grants, and for whatever reason, because we didn't qualify, because we didn't have the capacity, their grants were not applicable to us. They had too many strings attached. So thank you for finding this and for getting this, because this is a huge piece of what we need to be doing, and to find money from outside sources is always really nice. So that you guys are amazing. The amount of grants you've all been finding the last couple of years is phenomenal.
And I just need to applaud Dr. Choi for his hard work and his collaboration with Dr. Belize and Chief Encontro. I know he spent an untold amount of hours on this project, really trying to make sure that the application was as solid as it could be. So kudos to Dr. Choi for all of his hard work.
Congratulations.
Yeah, without him, we would not have been able to pull this off. So thank you so much, Dr. Choi.
Thank you.
I do have a question. It's related to safety. Maybe we could have it answered later. I don't need an answer right now. Just on the completion of the HMS front perimeter. Do you have an update on that?
Dr. Lin?
Yes. Last Friday, we had a vendor come out to install the camera. So that's now postponed because there was a delay in the ordering of that project. So we have the fencing done. The next is to wire and get the cameras installed, just like the other schools where you buzz in, there's a little camera. We're also working on the back fencing. It's not going to look as fancy because it's not going to be custom made. It'll be more, it should be done quicker. And we're looking at a couple of vendors right now to get the best deal. We have to do our due diligence in terms of vendor selection.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Choi. And then I just had one question. So with this funding, are we eligible for any maintenance or upkeep of the cameras with 100 and so many cameras after the first year? Are we going to be eligible for any of that?
So the funding does cover 3 years for not just the equipment, but the maintenance and upkeep and licensing for the cameras for 3 years. We would have to look at potential funding sources beyond the 3 years.
Okay, so it'll cover us for 3 years. Okay, thank you, thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, with that, thank you, Dr. Choi, again. And next we have action items. I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Delatorre to present resolution, Dr. Richter, to present resolution number 10 to the Board of Education for approval. This is an action item.
Thank you, President Ryan, members of the board, student board members, Superintendent Dr. Delatorre, and Cabinet. Ed Code Section 45103 authorizes the district to employ persons as short-term employees to provide a specific service or need for the district as long as the assignment does not exceed 75% of the school year. The district currently has a need for a special education paraprofessional through January 31st, 2024. Upon completion of this date, the services addressed by this resolution will no longer be needed. It is recommended that the board adopt this resolution and authorize the district to employ short-term employee through January 31st, 2024.
All right. Thank you. Do I have any questions on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, this is just for this one position.
That is correct.
Does it expire or does it not need to?
It does by this resolution, January 31st, 2024.
Without any further board action.
Correct. Correct.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mrs. Gill. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lam. Roll call, Mrs. Lam.
Aye.
Mrs. Gill.
Aye.
Mrs. Jung.
Aye.
Mr. Chang.
Aye.
Mrs. Ryan and student board member, Ms. Choi.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion has passed. Next, we have board communication from the superintendent. Any discussion items or Mr. Chang?
I think I've talked enough today.
Okay. All right. Any other statements? Okay. So now we're going to adjourn our meeting. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Let's get a picture.